Hey, it's the weekend and you're watching the Weather Network. Michelle Mackey with you. Let's get into your national forecast details, beginning in the west where we have this ridge of high pressure, and that means lots of sunshine and hot temperatures on the way for BC and into the prairies as well. As we look to the east, though, that's where we have a low situated near Newfoundland, and that's bringing in some showers for your Sunday. And sandwiched in between there, we have this upper level trough. You can see that red little line there, and that is triggering the risk of some thunderstorms through the prairies as we move through Saturday evening, overnight into your Sunday morning. Where we see the areas highlighted in yellow, that's your thunderstorm risk, non-severe in nature. But where we do see those thunderstorms, we do run the risk of not only seeing hail, but we're looking at rain as well. You can see that that rainfall extends all the way into northwestern Ontario as well. Before we get into your Ontario story, though, I want to show you this footage from Friday evening. Wow, what a beautiful cloud. Beautiful for us weather geeks, maybe not so beautiful if you had any outdoor plans. As we look to Ontario, we're looking at widespread rain to push in Sunday night. It's going to be clear before that, though, and we also have the chance of seeing some embedded thunderstorms with this system. So when you're trying to sleep, you may hear those rumbles of thunder. For me, that always lulls me into sleep. How about you? Sunday morning, though, certainly not dealing with any active weather in the south quite yet. It's going to be a little bit cooler, a similar day to what we experienced on Saturday. So expect that to start your day as well. For the most part, Maritimes are going to be clear. The activity is relegated to Newfoundland. That is where we are dealing with widespread showers and some significant amounts for the Avalon Peninsula and the Burin Peninsula as well. Around the World is next. You're watching the Weather Network, and it is time for the Weather Selfie, the chance for you, the viewer, to have a personalized forecast. All you need to do is send us a photo or video of the weather outside your door. Michelle Mackey with you. We had a ton of great submissions from across the country. We're going to get to those in a minute, but first I want to show you what we can expect for Sunday. We do have that ridge of high pressure dominating through Western Canada, and that means those hot, dry conditions are going to continue. As we move further to the east, that's where we get into some active weather for parts of Ontario. And on that note, I want to take you to our first submission. This is from Sean Legg. He and his family are from Alberta. He's actually one of our camera operators, and they are doing a cross-country road trip on Saturday. They made their way into Ontario, and you know what? Sean and family get out and enjoy the day on Sunday a little bit earlier because you know what? It is going to get a little bit active as we move into the evening. We have a system that's pushing through. We are looking at widespread rain through Ontario through the overnight, lingering into Monday morning. And we also have the chance of seeing some embedded thunderstorms with this system as well. You may hear a few rumbles of thunder as you're trying to sleep. As we track further to the east, we do have a low that's affecting Newfoundland, widespread rain. The majority of that rain is going to be falling on the Avalon Peninsula. So when we got this submission from one of our followers on Twitter, this was on Saturday. This is Robert. He was outside enjoying the weather. That beautiful weather in St. John's not going to last. Thanks so much, Chris Murphy. And did you know that last weekend in southern Ontario, we had our first confirmed tornado of the season? Luckily, no injuries and minimal damage. Michelle Mackey with you. It's the weekend. Let's get into your forecast details. In the west, a ridge of high pressure, calm conditions for your Sunday. But as we look to Ontario, we are watching this low pressure system slide into place as we move through your Sunday evening. That means rain is on the way, and we are still dealing with this low over Newfoundland, and that's going to continue through your Sunday. You'll note that the Burin and Avalon Peninsulas are going to be dealing with the most amount of rain. Bring your umbrellas before heading out. In terms of your temperatures, though, it's going to be anywhere from the low to high teens across the board. A little bit warmer as we track into northern parts of New Brunswick, and that's also going to be nice and clear for the Maritimes. High pressure in place. Let's take you back to Ontario because it really does give you a perspective that you've never seen before. And if you are heading to Niagara Falls tomorrow. Just make sure you do so earlier on in the day because, as I mentioned, rain pushing in later. And if you're heading up to the Grand Prix in Montreal Sunday afternoon, looking like a good one, 22 and sunshine. That rain not making its way as early to Montreal. Thanks, Deb, and a ridge of high pressure will continue the hot, dry weather in the west. Certainly not helping the wildfire situation by any means. I'm really glad you're here. Michelle Mackey with you. As we look to the east, high pressure in place for the Maritimes and southern Ontario to start the day. Things are going to change as we move throughout the day for Ontario. More on that in a second. But first, let's get to our Atlantic story. We do have a low that's bringing showers for Newfoundland. You can see the higher amounts are relegated to the Burin and Avalon Peninsulas. Bring your umbrella before you head out. High pressure in place through the Maritimes, though. Lots of sunshine on the way for your Sunday. The temperatures are going to be in the high teens, low 20s as we look to northern New Brunswick. So we're still a little bit below seasonal, but it's better than the rainfall that we dealt with on Saturday. And then as we look to Newfoundland, temperatures bang on seasonal. I want to show you this from Toronto. This is pretty funny. There it is. Okay. It gets me every single time. My director warned me about it. He said there is a goat that is coming and he's going to baa, and it still got me. I love it. As we look to your forecast conditions on Sunday, a little bit cooler, similar day to what we experienced on Saturday. And then as we move into the overnight, that's when we're going to be dealing with rain. It's time for the weekend edition of the Long Ranger. Michelle Mackey with you. It's great to see you. Let's get into your forecast details across the country, beginning through the overnight. We're looking at a ridge of high pressure building in through the west. That's an indication of lots of sunshine, dry conditions. The temperatures are going to be downright hot, especially for the interior of BC. As we look further to the east, we'll see this trough that's triggering off the potential of some non-severe thunderstorms through the overnight, and then this low in northwestern Ontario is going to gradually make its way into southern Ontario, southern Quebec as we move into your Sunday night. Mostly a rainfall event, but we do run the chance of seeing some embedded thunderstorms as well. Meanwhile, we'll get rid of that low that we're dealing with in Newfoundland through the overnight. Things clear out for Sunday as we move into Sunday evening, high pressure dominating. We'll still be a little bit below seasonal, but you know what? The sunshine makes up for the rain that we saw on Saturday. By the time we get into your Monday, there's your low that's going to track further to the east. By Tuesday, that's going to bring some unsettled conditions to Atlantic Canada. And you'll note that the jet stream begins to become a little bit more zonal in the west. Eventually, it's going to become so zonal that we'll begin to see some of the heat in the west push its way further to the east. Midweek for central Canada, end of the week by Atlantic Canada. I like to think of the jet stream as kind of a conveyor belt of energy, systems, heat, you name it. All right, I want to show you some fun video here. Moose on the loose. Not really on the loose. He's in his natural habitat. This is in northern Ontario. Beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, we want to see your videos. Send them to us here at the Weather Network. There's your thunderstorm risk through Sunday morning. We do have hail and widespread rain associated with this system. Stay with us, your local forecast. Those firefighters have sure had their work cut out for them this season thanks to how dry and hot it's been in the west. And that's going to continue as we look to Sunday thanks to a ridge of high pressure. I'm really glad you're here. Michelle Mackey with you. We also have some active weather to talk about in the eastern prairies. We'll get to that in a moment. But first, let's talk about the heat. If you like it hot, this could even be too hot for you, especially through the southern interior of BC on Sunday. We are looking at temperatures in the low 30s. Kamloops 33, feeling like 38. That's actually dangerously hot. Environment Canada has issued a special weather statement for the southern interior, and that heat is going to make its way further to the east through the week. Right now, I want to take you to Calgary through Saturday as well. In fact, much of Alberta has had a really nice weekend so far. But that's a different tune as we track further to the east. We have an upper level trough that's bringing us a risk of thunderstorms. And then we also have a low that's situated over northwestern Ontario. And that is bringing widespread rainfall to the area. And you can see that in northwestern Ontario, that's where we're getting into a little bit more of that rainfall through tomorrow, through Sunday. And then there's your thunderstorm risk in the prairies.